Welcome to the Daily History Podcast, where every story is a journey back in time. Today, we're peeling back the layers of history to explore the trial of one of history's most fascinating figures, Joan of Arc, a peasant girl who became a military leader and a symbol of resistance. Join us as we delve through the annals of medieval conflict to uncover the true story of her rise, her trial, and her enduring legacy. Our story today takes us deep into the heart of medieval Europe, amidst a conflict that spanned over a century. The 100 Years' War, a series of sporadic battles, sieges, and skirmishes, dominated the landscape of the 14th and 15th centuries. It was a struggle for dominance between two of the age's most prominent powers, the Kingdom of England and the Kingdom of France. At the core of the dispute were contested claims to the French throne, with English monarchs asserting their right through familial ties. As we cast our gaze upon the medieval countryside, we can envisage the upheaval this brought upon the people, the harsh toll of continuous warfare, the strain on resources, and the uncertainty of living under the shadow of an ongoing war. The political standing was as fragile as the alliances that underpinned it, international intrigues weaving an ever-tightening noose around the French crown. The French nobility was embroiled in discord, often fracturing into factions that either supported the English claim or fervently opposed it. Amidst this volatile mix of ambition and treachery flourished a society where peasants bore the brunt of aristocratic ambition, suffering the most in the face of never-ending conflict. As France faced its darkest hours, with English forces encroaching further into its territories and morale waning, the stage was unwittingly being set for an extraordinary figure to rise. It's within this environment, one of turmoil and desperate hope, that a young peasant girl from the village of Domrémy would emerge, Joan of Arc. Her appearance on the historical scene was nothing short of remarkable, a beacon of hope in desperate times, preluding a chapter in history that would forever remember her courage and resolve. The lead-up to Joan of Arc's entree was characterized not merely by military clashes, but also by a people's profound spiritual longing for deliverance. The Church played a pivotal role in the lives of everyday folk, shaping beliefs and often influencing political decisions. Imagine a landscape punctuated by the fervent prayers of a beleaguered populace and the omnipresent belief that divine intervention could alter the fates of kingdoms. It's in such a period that prophecies of a maiden rising to save France began to permeate the air, a precursor to Joan's storied path to becoming a revered leader. In the verdant Lorraine region of France, within the modest village of Domrémy, a child named Joan was born into a peasant family around the year 1412. Her early years were unremarkable, and she learned the ways of rural life, tending to animals and helping with chores. Yet, these humble beginnings were merely the prelude to a life that would become extraordinary. From the age of 13, Joan experienced visions that would set her path distinctly apart from that of her peers. She spoke of encounters with Saint Michael, Saint Catherine, and Saint Margaret, who, she claimed, communicated divine messages directly to her. These celestial visions exhorted her to embark on a sacred mission, one that involved driving the English out of France and reversing the tide of the long and bitter conflict known as the 100 Years' War. The young girl's conviction was unyielding. She believed wholeheartedly in the celestial origin of these messages and the responsibilities they bestowed upon her. With unwavering faith, she vowed to uphold the divine charge and found herself propelled into a world far removed from the pastoral tranquility of Domrémy. As the echoes of war reverberated throughout France, Joan's inner call to action intensified. In 1429, armed with just her faith and astonishing courage, she journeyed to Vaucouleurs. Here, she persuaded the local garrison commander of the truth of her visions and of the need for her to join the Dauphin, Charles VII, in battle against the English invaders. Joan of Arc's early life concluded with her departure from Domrémy, as she donned a soldier's attire and prepared to transform from a peasant girl into a warrior and leader. Despite her youth and lack of formal military training, Her deeply held belief in her divine mission would soon draw the gaze of an entire nation, and indeed the pages of history, to her remarkable journey. As we reflect upon this chapter of Joan's life, the unassuming village of Domrémy is forever marked by her legacy, a testament to the extraordinary capability that can emerge from the most ordinary of origins, fueled by a sense of calling that transcends the life of an ordinary peasant girl, shaping the fate of nations. The year is 1429, and the city of Orléans bristles under the weight of an English siege, a desperate stronghold clenching at the heart of France during the long and brutal conflict known as the 100 Years' War. As months turn to a year, the English encircle the city, their intent clear. With Orléans under their control, France would kneel, and England's claim to the French crown would be all but secured. Into this perilous fray steps a figure clad not in armor, polished by years of battle, but in the unwavering conviction of divine fate, Joan of Arc. A mere teenager, yet carrying the force of prophecies and visions which she claims ordain her to liberate France from English tyranny. Joan's arrival sparks an ember of hope in a realm smothered by despair. With Joan's guidance, a daring gambit unfolds. She instills a newfound vigor in the disheartened French troops, and together they enact a series of strategic attacks that pierce through the English fortifications surrounding Orléans. Joan's presence not only rallies the French soldiers, but seems to cast doubt and fear into the hearts of the besieging forces. One by one, English strongholds fall, culminating on the 8th day of May, 1429, when the siege is broken, and the English are sent into retreat. The siege of Orléans becomes the turning point of the 100 Years' War, largely thanks to Joan's leadership. Her role in this critical victory elevates her status from that of a mystical peasant girl to the embodiment of French tenacity. The tides of war are indelibly shifted in favor of the French, a debt owed to the Maid of Orléans. Yet the tale would not end at the liberated walls of Orléans. Joan's vision extends to the anointing of a king. She escorts Charles VII through hostile territory to Reims, standing firmly by his side as he is crowned King of France in the cathedral on the 17th of July, 1429. Against the odds, Charles VII's rule gains legitimacy, his coronation a symbol of renewal, a kingdom reborn from the ashes of conflict. All this made possible by Joan of Arc, whose name would be forever etched into the annals of history, a shepherdess who dared to dream of a free France and saw that dream soar on the wings of victory at Orléans and the hallowed halls of Reims. In the thick of medieval strife, Joan of Arc, once a beacon of hope for France, encountered a devastating turn of fate. It was in the shadowed year of 1430, amid the ceaseless turbulence of the 100 Years' War, that Joan, steadfast in her commitment to liberate her homeland, fell into the hands of her adversaries. The Burgundians, aligned with the English crown for their own political gains, captured the valiant maid near Compiègne, and in a move that would darken the annals of history, negotiated her sale to England, the very force she had devotedly fought against. The stage for Joan's trial was not a battlefield, but the biased chambers of ecclesiastical power, orchestrated by a man whose name would be etched in infamy, Bishop Pierre Cauchon. Cauchon, with staunch loyalty to the English and his own ambition guiding him, presided over the proceedings in 1431. The trial, a culmination of political theater, masquerading as religious inquisition, was a testament to the era's enmeshment of the two realms, with Joan caught in a perilous web, spun by those who sought not truth, but a condemnation that would legitimize English occupation. Despite Joan's valor, the environment of her captivity bore no semblance to the dignity she deserved. Harshly imposed within the foreboding walls of Rouen Castle, her imprisonment was marked by isolation, relentless interrogation, and conditions that would fray the steeliest of spirits. Questioned incessantly and denied the comforts of clerical support or even female companionship, Joan's resolve was subjected to an ordeal as rigorous as the battles she once commanded, a stark contrast to the honor she had earned in lifting the siege of Orléans and the crowning of Charles VII. In a solemn courtroom, animated by whispers and watchful eyes, Joan of Arc stood resolute, her fate hanging on the precipice of judgment. The year was 1431, and the gravity of the trial could be felt in every corner of the chamber. Accused of heresy and sorcery, Joan's defense was not just a battle for her life, but a struggle against the prejudiced scorn of her captors. Braving the court with a poise that belied her youthful age of 19, she faced a tribunal determined to see her fall. Her attestations, given under the harsh glare of interrogation, were a testament to her unshakable conviction. Joan spoke of a chorus of heavenly voices, which she believed were Saint Michael, Saint Catherine, and Saint Margaret, guiding her actions and bestowing upon her a divine mission to liberate France. Throughout the trial, her eloquence and earnestness shone through, as she recounted experiences of her visions with startling clarity and consistency, steering her toward the pursuit of freeing her homeland from English dominion. Despite her courageous efforts to fend off the allegations, the court, steered by Bishop Pierre Cauchon and influenced by English interests, remained unmoved by her valorous testimony. Joan was ultimately condemned, the weight of her convictions resulting in a devastating verdict. On May 30th, 1431, the young woman who had led armies with prophetic fervor was led to the stake. As flames rose to claim her, Joan of Arc embraced her fate, sealing her legacy not as an outcast or heretic, but as a martyr whose spirit would never be quelled. The execution of Joan of Arc echoed throughout France and the ages, the flames that consumed her body only fueling the fire of her legacy. Her end, though tragic, was a beginning of sorts, the immortalization of a figure whose life and death would forever symbolize unyielding defiance and hope against overwhelming odds. It wasn't the close of her story, but the spark that would set alight the torch of her sainthood in centuries to come. The tale of Joan of Arc did not conclude with the extinguishing of her earthly life. Rather, it birthed an immortal legacy. After her execution in 1431, Joan's story was far from complete. Her path to sainthood began with a lengthy period of obscurity, but in the hearts of the French people, she never faded. It was not until nearly 25 years after her death that a posthumous retrial was initiated, culminating in 1456 with a declaration of her innocence and the annulment of the original trial's verdict. This momentous rehabilitation was an acknowledgement of the injustices she had suffered, serving as a profound vindication for Joan and her supporters. Centuries would pass before Joan's sainthood would be realized. In the interim, her legend grew, and her image as a beacon of courage and perseverance solidified. It was finally in 1920 that Joan was canonized by Pope Benedict XV, cementing her status not only as a hero of France, but also as a saint recognized by the Roman Catholic Church, a staggering transformation for the country girl who claimed to hear divine voices. The journey of Joan of Arc, from a convicted heretic to a patron saint, reflects her unwavering spirit. Her bravery in the face of overwhelming adversity serves as an enduring inspiration. Joan's story transcends the annals of history and enters the realm of cultural identity. In France, she is more than a historical figure. She embodies the spirit of national pride and resilience. But her impact isn't confined by borders. Around the globe, Joan of Arc symbolizes the potential within every individual to stand firm in their convictions, even against seemingly insurmountable odds. As we reflect on the powerful reverberations of Joan's life and death, it becomes clear that her spirit remains vibrant, continuing to encourage, empower, and invoke passion in those who learn of her remarkable journey. The Maid of Orléans, once a simple villager with an extraordinary destiny, will forever shine as an example of unfaltering faith and courage in the pursuit of justice. Thank you for tuning in to the Daily History Podcast. We hope you found Joan of Arc's story both enlightening and moving. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and help us keep history alive. We invite you to comment below with your suggestions for our next topic. The most liked idea will have a chance to be featured in a future episode. Your engagement makes our historical explorations even more rewarding. Until next time, keep delving into the past and keep sharing the stories that matter to you.